So, hey everyone, I'll just wait to see who shows up. Fashionably late again. My little one had swimming and we were hurrying up because he likes to take his time in the shower, right? We can all agree that that's a nice thing to do. So I just wanted to jump on tonight. We're going to talk about nutrition labels. I also have examples of foods that I like to eat. It's not a diet, guys, because a diet means die with a T. Instead, it's more of a lifestyle, and I want this lifestyle to work for you. So I want you to figure out what fits in your life and what fits in your family's meals, and I want it to work for you. So it's not eat this, do that. It's I'm going to share what works for me and answer any questions. We can do Q&A style. I do have to be at the high school for 7 because I realize that I'm scheduled for another meeting. But that's okay. I think we can do it. And my littlest one has been warned to not try to interrupt. But I mean, he loves being in front of the camera like his ma. So what you want? Oh, Leslie. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, you guys are amazing. It feels like a dream. Like it's just really this happened. That's so cool. You guys are awesome. That happened because of you guys, and it's me that's super thankful for that. And you guys are just awesome. I have a place to show up and share my passion, and you guys show up and we chat. It's awesome. Okay, so let's jump right in. So first things first, guys, like I said, it's not a diet. It's about lifestyle. It's what works for you. So let's talk about those darn confusing nutrition labels. They are confusing, right? Aw, I love you guys. So let's see. Let me see what I can grab here. Oh, I'll grab like this. You guys all know I am a Quest addict. I'm actually trying to figure out a way to make my own recipe. I'm going to figure it out, and then if it's edible, I will share. But for now, we'll be cracking the code. But let's look at a nutrition label. Now let's see. I think it's backwards. Is this backwards for you guys? It is, eh? Darn. Oh, that's my son making noise. Okay, so the first thing that I do, it's backwards, eh? Okay, so I'll just show you guys what things are, and I'll say, so that when you look at your label, I mean, if you have something near you, just grab it. Any kind of food you have near you that has a label, a packaged food, and we'll, when I'm going through my stuff, you can look at yours, and it's going to be a sweet teaching moment. So I don't know if you have 2 seconds to run and get it, but I am a Quest addict. This stuff is awesome. So, and if you don't like Quest, that's okay. I still love you. First thing that I look at, guys, you know how it says calories? Don't ever go by the calories, okay? Many companies lie about what the true calories are, so don't worry about that, okay? If you were tracking your food, and I would tell you to either input it in manually and your tracker would calculate the calories for you, and you don't even have to get that complicated. Don't even worry about the calories, okay? Stop being scared of calories. We need calories. Calories are good. So the first thing that I look at is fiber. So if I look at my fiber, it's 13 grams. That's pretty sweet. I'm a huge advocate for get that fiber in, okay, guys? So I say, I don't know, it depends on the person, but I like to say get at least 20 grams in and up. Myself, I like to hit 25 grams and up. I don't know, 25 to 33 grams of fiber for me, and depending on clients and stuff, I like to say get the fiber in, because more than half of the people, and there's studies that prove it, do not get half of what they need in a day. Like they get like hardly any. So once we start looking at our labels, you'll be like, oh my gosh, I don't have enough fiber. And of course with fiber, you need to be drinking the water. So I say at least 3 to 4 liters of water a day. If you're doing intense training, probably more. So yeah, fiber, that's the first thing I check. Second thing I go look at is the protein, just because, you know, I'm all about the protein. So that's 20 grams, pretty sweet. Then you can look at to determine if a product is either a fat, a carb, or a protein. You look at which out of the 3 has the highest number, because a lot of food is made up with all. But to determine which category it is, like let's debunk this peanut butter myth. Many people will say it is a protein, but it is in fact a fat. Because if we look at the makeup for this, fat is 7 grams, carbs is 3, and protein is 4. So it's 7 grams of fat. It is the highest number out of the 3. It is therefore a fat. So right away, that myth is solved. When you're looking at something and saying like, oh, is this a carb? Is this a fat? Is this a... Go by it. And if the numbers are similar, like when I get to my chia seeds, because fiber, chia seeds, the makeup is quite similar. So the fat is 6 grams, carbs is 9, and proteins is 3. So it is a carb, but it also has a good source of fat. But I take chia seeds because the fiber, it's 8 grams. It's 8 grams per 2 tablespoons. And that is another big thing, everybody. So there are no bad foods because it's not a diet. If you like chips, that's sweet. Per day or per meal? Like per day, for the grams of fiber per day. So yeah, ooh, you'd be some backed up girl if you had 20 grams a day. Chia for the win. I know, it's awesome, eh? So per day, you can throw chia or flaxseed in pretty much anything. Girls who are in the black dress and girls who are not in the black dress, a simple recipe that Jess Lalia shared with me, which I share with everybody because I think it's awesome. You take 2 tablespoons of chia seeds, you soak it in water. When it's done soaking, probably about 30 minutes or so, you just add, I like phyto berries, throw it in, add a bit more water, it becomes like a pudding consistency. It's kind of sweet, kind of gooey, it's good stuff. So chia seeds, very good for you. But as I was saying, there are no bad foods. When you're looking at your labels, the first thing that, like obviously before you look at the fiber and all the makeup of the food, is to see what the serving size is. So it's easy to grab, let's say cereal, because I love cereal too. You grab cereal, and I mean, I eat all the cereal, guys. I love Lucky Charms. I love Life cereal. Like, there's no bad food. So what you do is if you want to eat it, portion it out. So I take my bowl, and I'll put it on my food scale, and you don't have to be this anal about it. You can also just measure it out. But things like peanut butter and cereal, it is so easy to overdo and have a bigger portion than is necessary. So you portion it out. Things like chips, you know, if the bag says 22 chips, count out 22 chips because you're playing with moderation as well, right? So that would be how you look at a food nutrition label. Now I want to share with you girls like some of my favorite foods just because food is good. I have non-negotiables. My non-negotiables are like my buffer foods that I need to have every day just so that I don't feel like I'm deprived. Everybody on this page pretty much knows my history with binging that came from restricting and depriving and then binging, right? There are no bad food, guys. There's no bad food. I wasn't allowed to have creamer, okay? So if I couldn't have creamer, I would set my day off in my coffee. It was so easy to just crave, and then want everything, right? When I could have just had a bit of creamer, called it a day. So this is a buffer food for me. It's like a buffer binger. So I have cream in my coffee every day, guilt-free. Another non-negotiable, well, you know, I love Quest bars just because I like to cheat and get the fiber in. Another non-negotiable, guys, are like, I call them big-ass salads. I didn't invent that term. I wish I did. It's so sweet, eh? But to have a bass every day. So any kind of salad you like, make a big one, and you could throw your protein in it, get some good fats in there, like, I don't know, your dressing, things like that. Sometimes I cheat. I grab like a ready-made to-go salad, and I will polish this whole thing by myself, okay? I'm not a big sharer. Yes, I am. But I could easily eat this whole thing. Now, what I do, though, ladies, when it comes to the dressing, is I don't just open the dressing and pour the whole thing in. So there are little tips and tricks, right? If we're talking about portion control, you could put a little bit, or what I like to do, especially if I go in restaurants, is, well, at home, usually I don't put dressing just because I'm used to just tasting my food. But if it's a mix like this, I might put a little bit. And in a restaurant, I always ask for the dressing on the side, because especially in restaurants, they'll overdo it because it tastes so good and it's so palatable so that we want to eat more. You put it on the side, and then I dip my fork in, and then I eat my salad like that. So those are just little tricks, right? Or you could just use vinegar with mustard. Mix it in, it makes a nice dressing. Or I like Bragg's Amino soy sauce. Mix that in with a bit of garlic powder and a little bit of stevia. You're good to go. So there's all these tips and tricks because it's cool. It's good to have a bath. Eat a big-ass salad. Have one every day if you can, because that's one of my non-negotiables. It's a daily intention I have for myself. But it kind of defeats the purpose if I'm just going to slather it in some kind of dressing, right? So there are no bad foods. If you want dressing, practice moderation, right? Because there's an abundance of food. So for some people, that's kind of different thinking. But I'm more of that belief. Like, I'd rather eat my calories in other things than waste them on other things, you know, because it's easy to overdo things like that. Peanut butter, I love peanut butter. I have to measure it out because it's so easy to just grab a big spoon, and if you do that throughout the day or throughout the week, those add up, right? So things like that. Another big thing I love are Krizda chocolate chips. The reason I love these guys is because they have fiber in them. So for 15 grams, 1 tablespoon, there's 5 grams of fiber. I'll take Greek yogurt. I like the 0% because I'm used to it now, and I'll just put a little bit of honey, peanut butter, protein powder, throw some chips in there, chocolate chips in there, and you're good to go, right? Somebody was asking about cravings. I think Leslie. Cocoa is good. So depending what you're craving, you could throw cocoa on lots of things. Like if you are craving salty, you can make popcorn, put a little bit of butter, and sprinkle some cocoa on it. Then you got some chocolate popcorn, right? Or hot chocolate things. Yeah, things like that. What else can you do with cocoa? Like I mix it in sometimes my Greek yogurt. Honey is good. Honey is good just overall for your health, right? You can't be scared of calories, guys. And sugar, yes, sugar is a leading cause, obviously, of weight gain, but natural sugars are good for you in moderation, right? So that's why I was saying when we're eating our veggies, it is a good digestion. When we're eating our veggies, typically, or actually when we're eating fruits and veggies, everybody loves fruits because they taste so good and it's so easy to pack those back. We don't get enough veggies in our day at all. So that's why I say 1 fruit for 3 veggies, right? Then it's like it evens it out. Let's get that fiber up. Let's get the sugars. Because the more fiber you put in your body, it kind of regulates the sugar you consume. So if you are somebody who's tracking and you're trying not to consume, I don't know, I'll throw this number out, not trying to consume more than 100 grams of sugar a day, which is super easy to do, and many people eat way more than that, it'll balance itself out, because if you're hitting your fiber targets, and I mean, if you don't want to track, that's cool, but I would say just be aware, right? We're looking for the sense of awareness. So if you're eating anything from a package, just look at it and see, is there even fiber in here? Because fiber is the amazing food. Let's see, another fat, almonds or any kind of nut. Those are good. Another fat, coconut oil. Coconut oil is good. I love to put this in coffee. Why does it always cut out? I don't know if it's because too many people are doing live videos. I don't know. Yeah, you can do pretty much anything with coconut oil. Cook your food in it, put in your coffee, things like that. You can just eat it straight up. I know it sounds gross, but it's good. And again, portion it out is so easy to overdo. Portion it out. Another good fat, I like to use unsweetened almond milk. So if I'm making smoothies and things like that, I can portion out a cup. Yeah, it's a cup. I mean, I like to make an ice cream with this. Sometimes I'll use half a cup to a cup, and I'll mix it with a portion, a serving size of Greek yogurt. Add some peanut butter, add some honey. You can cut up bananas. You can put in little chocolate chips. Sometimes I put in little marshmallows or fun foods, and I freeze it. You know, little granola wafers, things like that, and I freeze it, and it comes out like a little ice cream after. It's pretty cool. Protein. So, I mean, obvious sources, eggs. Eggs are also a good fat. Good protein. Protein, Crystal. Oh, here we go. You can get protein from any source of meat, right? So any of the meats. Some meats have higher fats like steaks and salmon and things like that, but it's still good. And a serving, guys, of meat is the palm of your hand, right? So palm of your hand. Serving size of fat would be the length of your thumb here. So not quite that. I would do like half the length. Protein. I like using protein powder sometimes just to get it in. So, I don't know, if I'm running late and I'm not really hungry, I can make a smoothie. I put protein powder. I can mix it with the unsweetened almond milk. I can throw in some oatmeal, spinach, because if you're looking to get more veggies in there, you can portion out blueberries or any kind of raspberry mix because those are really good for you, antioxidants. But some people are really sensitive to protein powder, so if you're sensitive, that's fine, don't do it. But you can also make puddings with protein powder, so I'll take a serving of this and I'll add just enough water to make like a thicker consistency. You get a pudding right there, and if you're craving like a good sweet, add a bit of cocoa in there or a bit of honey, things like that. What else do I have here? Oh, portion control. So I love cheese. Yeah, isn't this the best portion control? Let me see. So breads, a lot of people are scared of carbs, right? And they're scared of breads and they're scared of sandwiches. But if we think back to like when we were young, everybody ate soup and sandwiches, right? And there was no, back then it didn't appear like there was this big obesity epidemic, right? And I think that actually I'm pretty safe to say that my opinion is that we ended up that way because we villainized fats and we villainized carbs. You can't take things out of the equation, right? So we villainized fats and everybody went for the carbs, carb. So we overcarbed it because a carb is like a sugar, right? And the portion controls, I mean, bagels are huge and muffins are huge. And so it's really about like, there's no bad foods, but be mindful and aware that moderation is key, right? So breads are not bad. I'll have toast. I'll have sandwiches. I eat cereal. A bread that I really like because it has some fiber in it is Ezekiel. So this is cinnamon raisin, and I'll share with you another breakfast idea that I love, or actually I'm a breakfast woman. I can eat breakfast all day long. Breakfast is life. I'll toast this. I'll put some peanut butter, and I have a fried egg in it. Awesome. I know it sounds gross, but it's good. So yeah, I get that in the frozen section of the Independent. It's kind of pricey, so you freeze it because they are sprouts and you don't want them to go bad. Somebody said avocado. Yes, avocado is a good fat. Another breakfast idea is I like to have my eggs. I'll cook up eggs and some butter just because I like getting good fats in there. And then I'll portion out some avocado. So I'll weigh out 50 grams or something like that and eat that with pepper. It's really good. Or you can make like avocado mousse or throw that in a smoothie. Really good. Oh my God, you feed me the New Year's Day. See, I can make food. Mark doesn't think that it's good. Neither do my kids, but that's okay. Flaxseed. Flaxseed would be considered a fat as well, but there is fiber. Let me just verify this. Yes, it would be a fat. No, it would be a carb. But there is fiber in there, so you can add that to your porridge or to your smoothies, things like that. Some people put it on their salads. Sure. Then there's oatmeal. Oatmeal as well has fiber, so that's really good for you. And it's filling, right? And if you're looking for another quick recipe, I love making pancakes. So you take, best hangover breakfast ever. Yes. I portion out some oatmeal, so I don't know, it's about 40 grams. You take 40 grams of oatmeal, and then you mix it with an egg or two, cook it in a pancake. Perfect. Like as a pancake, I add a bit of coconut oil on top. Super good. What else do I have here? Okay. So I think that covers it for pretty much some of the foods. Like, and we're creatures of habit, guys. So the thing is that when you're starting any kind of new lifestyle, you can't go big or go home. I don't believe in that. Just like I don't believe in the I'm going to start Monday. Okay, I'm actually working on a blog post that I'll release sometime this week, but I don't believe in that I'm going to start Monday. Because if you say that and let's say what happens if you start on a Monday, you're going to go big or go home. So you're going to jump all in on your diet. You're going to jump all in your training. You're going to go hard. Tuesday morning wakes up, you're sore, and you're feeling good, but you're sore. And you might be a bit tired, but you're sore. And now you're starting to notice the things that you can't have, right? So when you do, rejection creates obsession, right? So you're rejecting it. You're like, I can't have it. It's going to create an obsession. You're going to see it everywhere. You're going to smell it everywhere, right? So then, you continue on the week. By Thursday, let's say they have cake in the staff office room, things like that. And you're like, F it. And you start enjoying, but then you feel guilty because you went big or bit home. So now you feel like you've fallen off the wagon. And Friday comes along, and then, what do we do on weekends? Sometimes we like to have a few drinks. Some of us, it's more than just a few, which creates, it's easier to want to eat more when we're drinking. So then we say, I'll start Monday. So it's really hard. I don't believe in that I'm going to start Monday. If you are not ready to start, then don't say that. If you're ready, just do it. You don't need a date. You can decide, I don't know, Tuesday. Look, we're Tuesday, 6:30 tonight. Okay, I'm going to start prepping meals. I'm going to cook up some chicken. It's going to be ready in the fridge to go. And then I can just pair it with a salad and get some nice sauce or get some nice fat in there, and you're good to go, right? So it's little tiny steps. It's not go big or go home. Okay, so it's consistency plus action is going to get you to your goals, but you have to be consistent. You have to show up every day, even if you mess up, because guess what? You mess up, it makes you human. Okay, we're all human. We have hormones and cravings and things like that, but I can honestly tell you that since I started playing around more with flexible dieting, no more cravings because there's no bad food, right? Yes, someday is today. Plain instant oatmeal. That's good because then you can add your berries and whatever else you want to flavor it, right? I lost my train of thought. But yeah, there's no go big or go home. It's if you're deciding to do it, just do it. You don't have to prove it to anybody. A lot of us, I think we have this notion that we have to prove it to everybody else. Why don't we prove it to ourselves, right? Because what happens every time you fall off the wagon? Do you know what happens? You lose your self-trust. So you start to lose trust in yourself. That is the worst feeling in the world. So you lose trust in yourself, and then the vicious self-hate cycle starts because you start to look at everybody else that seems to be doing it right, and what the hell's wrong with me, right? So you can't go big or go home, okay? There's no all or nothing mentality because all or nothing always gets you something. It gets you nothing. So it's moderation, kindness, practice, and a lot of self-trust. So that was for that. I think it was Leslie who was asking about nutrient timing and like if there's certain times of the day that we should eat and things like that. Yes, there could be, okay? If we are just looking at attaining a goal ourselves, I say don't complicate things. So if you're hungry, eat. If you're not hungry, don't eat. There was a time that I used to practice, get all your carbs in around your training time and then get your fats. We don't have to complicate things because I find we are very knowledgeable when it comes to nutrition. We all know what we need to do, but we struggle with the doing part because there's so much confusion. So we'll have somebody saying, do this, do this, do this, and then somebody else saying the opposite thing. So then we don't know who to believe. But honestly, if we just go to the basics, and the basics are, you're hungry, eat, honor what you're hungry for, eat to 80% full. So that would be 80% full would be when you feel like you can have another serving. Don't, because it takes about 20 minutes for your gut brain to get to your head brain and tell you you're full, right? So don't. Have some water, get up, do the dishes, go get busy, and soon enough, the 20 minutes will go and you'll be like, oh my God, I feel good. Like I'm not stuffed. You know that stuffed feeling where you're like, oh, I gotta undo my pants and I feel sick. And so if you practice those like 8 to 80% full, so honor when you're hungry. So you don't always have to follow a clock either, right? So a lot of us are ingrained that I have to eat every 2 hours. Well, you know what? They prove that doesn't matter. You can eat, I used to eat every 2 hours, and I could tell you I was hungry all the friggin' time, and food preoccupied my mindset 24 hours a day, right? I would even dream of it, like I'm serious. It was not good for me, so I can't eat every 2 hours a day. Instead, I don't eat breakfast until probably 10 o'clock in the morning. You know, and sometimes I get up and I'm hungry, so I honor that because my metabolism's on fire, and okay, let's eat breakfast first thing in the morning. But many times it's 10, sometimes a little bit later. So they call that a bit of intermittent fasting, but I'm not prepared to say that I'm in that category, right? I don't want to put myself in a box, but I honor when I'm hungry. So, and when I'm hungry, I eat till I'm 80% full. I load in the fats so I can go 4 or 5 hours before eating again. So it's really what works for you, and how you figure out what works for you is by practice. So you can't be following a meal plan that tells you to do something, because that's just going to mess with your head. Because if you don't have what's prepared, or God forbid you drop something, I don't know how often, I'm a spaz, where I would drop my breakfast and be like, oh shit, what can I eat now, right? Don't do that. Let's not complicate things. Somebody wrote that. Yes, Marie-Louise, too many rules lead to confusion. With people saying, do this, do that, do this, do this. Like, no, let's go back to basics. How about we start to practice our self-trust, and let's not complicate things. So I would say every meal, focus on the protein. So get a protein in, and that would be your serving size. And then get some veggies. So I would say get veggies at every meal. You can have a fruit, sure, that's cool, but get those veggies in because we want that fiber. And if you're not tracking, cool, but just for fun, like, look at how much fiber you're getting in the day. So play a little game. So let's say tomorrow you wake up, you start your day fresh, and every time you go to eat, just keep in mind what number you're at for fiber. Play that game. And then at the end of the day, say, did I hit 20 grams or am I like at 5? Right? Because that makes a huge difference in your whole body. So yeah, let's not worry about nutrient timing. Like, if we were fitness competitors or powerlifter competitors or whatever the heck kind of athletes, but we're not. We're everyday athletes, because I think anybody can be an athlete, and we're the CEOs of our own body, right? So we can decide what works for us, and we don't need people telling us what works for us, because we're individuals and we're different, and everybody's body is different. So yeah, I talked about my non-negotiables. So I would encourage you guys for this week, think about what you consume every day and what is a non-negotiable for you. So a lot of you, I think, did the anti-diet boot camp. That was that free little mini e-course. I mean, you can still sign up and get it. It's free. I'm not selling anything. It's just little mindset activities to get you to practice being aware, and to practice the self-trust, and to practice moderation, and to practice your daily intentions about how you want to honor your body today, right? So like I said, for me, it was to get a big ass salad in every day, hit my fiber, move some way. If it's not lifting weights, do a little bit of a mobility flow, go for a walk, things like that, right? So those are little things, and I need to read. Every day I need to feed my mind, so I'm reading. If it's not 5 minutes, it's a bit more. I love when it's a bit more, but mom life. So those are my intentions, right? And to honor where I'm at. So don't complicate things. I think Leslie was asking about recovery drinks. That's really good too. So recovery drinks, I think water is awesome. A lot of people ask what I drink, because I walk around with my big bottle that says, let me just show you. I walk around with this like it's lime water right now. I don't sweat, I sparkle. Isn't that awesome? My girl gave me that, my girl Tina. So what's in here is a liter of water, and I put in BCAAs. So BCAAs are branched chain amino acids. I mean, you don't need to take supplements. That's another thing that before I get into that topic, I did a video probably a month ago, I'm trying to remember, where we talked about the pyramid of food, like of importance. Supplements would be like the last thing. I think too many people invest way too much money for stuff that we don't even really need. It just makes really expensive pee, and again, it adds to the confusion of all the rules that you have to follow. I think that we, because we live in the north, should take vitamin D, vitamin D3, but check with your pharmacist, check with your doctor, and I, for myself, will double my dose because 1,000 milligrams is not enough for me, and I find in winter months I play a little bit with seasonal, I wouldn't say seasonal depression, but I play around with like those lower moods. I'll up it. So I take vitamin D3 and I take omega-3s. Sometimes, you know, when colds are going around, I up my vitamin C's. I'll take an echinacea because another girl shared that with me, Lynn, that's a magic pill, and it is. Or a multivitamin. But I mean, you need to see what works for you and obviously follow through with your pharmacist or your doctor to make sure, because everybody's different and how we metabolize these things is different. And I wouldn't want to say go buy a whole whack of supplements because I don't even believe that. I don't even do that myself, right? So like fat burners and things like that. Yeah, I've done that in the past when I was prepping for shows. And back then I needed the fat burners, not to burn fat. I needed it for the energy, right? Because it's pumped with caffeine, right? And I was training like 3 to 4 hours a day, living life. Like, so back then I chose that path. I don't think that it was a smart idea, but it's something I did. I learned a good lesson. I learned a few good lessons from it, but I don't promote things like that because I don't think it's health. What else? Yeah, congrats on you guys for that CrossFit thing. I think that's amazing. Don't we have a cool community of like awesome people? And yeah, so that's a good point you bring up, Chantal. So if we talk about like our training, automatically, if you're a person who's doing more cardio, you're going to be more hungry automatically because your body wants to keep you at homeostasis. That's like the happy place that it wants to be in. And if you start messing around with that stuff, for sure, you're going to have the hunger cravings. You're going to be tired, so your body's going to want to fuel you, and you're going to crave, and many times you're going to crave the bad stuff, right? The sweets, those easy sugar rushes, right? So just be aware with that. So when I do training programs and for clients and when I train myself and anybody who's on Black Dress too, you guys are training 3 times a week, let's say Black Dress. There is some Metcons in there depending on what level you're in. There's HIIT workouts, but there's a lot more of just like body weight focus or weight focus because I want to build the base up first. It would be too easy for me to say, hey, go do cardio 30 minutes every day for 7 days a week, and then we'll up it to an hour, and then we'll up it and up it and up it. That would defeat the purpose just because it'll just make you more hungry and miserable, and you won't get anywhere, right? Okay. Amount of time in between reps. So that is, again, something you get to play around with that. So depending on what you're lifting, I always say go until you recover your oxygen debt. That would be when you're like heavy breathing, like you're out of breath. You're trying to recover that oxygen debt because your body's like, what the F are you doing? So I would say go until you can start breathing normal. You might still have an elevated heart rate, but you're not panting anymore, you can go again. If you're doing super, super heavy lifts, I would say wait a few minutes in between, but otherwise, like it could be anywhere from 1 minute to 3 minutes. And if it's lighter weights and more of, it would depend as well what kind of program you're doing. So if you're doing HIIT and the purpose is to keep that heart pumping, then again, it would be like smaller rest periods, right, at the end. But again, always honoring, right? Because I wouldn't want anybody to pass out. And even when I train people, I'm like, okay, if you don't feel good and if you feel like you're going to vomit, I'm not doing you any service right now. Okay, I don't believe in pushing you till you think you're going to puke, because I've done that to myself and it's not a fun place to be in. So you can push yourself and challenge yourself. I'm all about that for sure, but honor, right? So resting until you can recover that oxygen debt or until you feel like you're ready to go. So I watch the clock. I've seen people though, like when I used to go to the gym a lot more, and it's mostly guys, because girls, we seem to be focused, right? We know that we're in and out because we got shit to do. But it would be guys. They just sit and talk and shoot and like just talk about anything. And it's like, dude, can I go in between your set? Because you've been chatting for 5 minutes and I could have done a set for sure in between you. You know what I mean? So it's to be efficient with your time. But I mean, girls usually we're like focused. We got stuff to do, right? So we don't tend to talk as much. So I would say just watch your time, see how you're feeling, and tu vas te préparer, babe? Tu veux t'amener ça? On va y aller ensemble.
Why are you talking while you're in the middle of a video?
I told you I was doing a video, babe.
Are you still doing it?
Yeah.
Why are you talking?
Tu vas te préparer, okay? On va y aller bientôt. Okay. Okay, babe. Yeah. So you're going to crave foods like that when you go hardcore with exercise, but you guys did it for an awesome, you did it for an awesome cause, so I think that's amazing. So just honor where your body is and know that you might be more tired this coming week, and that's cool. That's fine. Just give yourself the time. So your body's trying to repair itself. So it's not really bad foods. I would just say you're repairing where you were at. Yes, you silly boy. Let's see. Yeah, to recover for sure, you're going to need protein. You're going to need carbs. Fat is good too, just to keep you more full. But I mean, like, I'm not sure what you ate. Wait, tu peux en prendre un. Tu veux-tu le mettre dans le fridge, actually? I'm just going to have some water. Like, I don't know, like, what's an example of what you ate? Because for myself, guys, like, I went last year, I was eating a Snickers bar every day for almost 3 months. And I didn't gain weight. In fact, I lost weight because I would eat that either before a workout or right after a workout or right before bed. But I was working out. So it depends on what it is. That actually just brings me to another key point that I think I should mention. That earn our food mindset, a lot of us are still struggling with, and that's cool. But the more we're aware, the more we can pay attention to it. So the earn your food mindset could be a dangerous thing, because it could be a dangerous thing in regards to you think that you have to train super hard to get something, or you think you train super hard so you deserve it, right? And I've heard girls, and even myself in the past, when I first started training like 5-6 years ago, I would work out and I couldn't say that I honestly challenged myself enough. I know for a fact I could have pushed a little bit more, but then I would go home and then in my head it was like, well, I earned this poutine and I earned this Pepsi and this chocolate because I just pushed it super hard at the gym, when in fact I didn't. So you just got to be aware of that earn your food mindset for things like that. Challenge yourself always. That's why I recommend like timing your workout. So if you're doing a HIIT session and it says, you know, complete this many reps or as many reps as pretty in a set amount of time, because form over ego. So as amount as reps as pretty in a set amount of time, then when you keep doing that same workout, you're going to see you're going to get more time efficient. You're going to be mechanically more efficient. You're going to recover fast. You're going to be faster. So you can time it and see like, oh, there's my progress. Right? So these are all other little tricks to look for instead of basing your progress on a scale or on inches, right? So you look at things like that too, and with your weights. So write down like, you know, how many reps you did per how much weight. You can also write down like how you're feeling that day. If you're having a crap day, had a crap day. Next week when you go, you know, you're having a better day. So you're lifting more, things like that. Ate toast, banana, eggs, chips, chocolate, pasta. I don't think that that's necessarily bad food choices, depending on if you were doing portion control, and if not, it's not a big deal. That to me looks like a lot of good of carbs, which is what your body is going to crave when you're broken down and tired and things like that. You have a little bit of fat, but not very much, and a little bit of sugar. So yeah, like I wouldn't say it's bad. Again, talking about portion control. So from here on out, going forward, yes, Loic, eat your egg. You can just monitor like what you are
I want to hug you.
what you are consuming, but guilt-free, guys. Okay, babe. Okay. Va préparer ton sac, on s'en va. Another thing, guys, depending on what you eat, and they've proven this, and I know I've talked about this before, but they've proven that if you're eating something and you're telling yourself that it's a bad food, automatically your digestion will slow down. Okay, so they've proven that. And if you're eating something good, you tell yourself it's good, you feel good, your digestion goes faster, right? So it's a matter of mindset, because it is connected. So if you're eating something, I'm really like of anything, if you got anything from tonight, please practice the guilt-free eating. So what if you had a bad day, right? You're human, and to me, that's not a bad day. I've you know, I know that for myself, like a bad day would be I pack back 12 cream puffs and then half a pizza and then like a whole bottle of wine or something like that. But it's not to compare and say, you know what I mean? I don't want to compare the struggles, not at all. But it's just to say, even if that would have been what you wrote to me, I would have said, okay, forgive yourself and move on, right? Like you did awesome. You did an awesome fundraiser. You guys raised a crap ton of money as a team. That's amazing. Pat yourself on the back and keep going, right? So the mindset really plays with our overall self-worth a lot. So if it's so easy to say like your example, and I mean I've been there before where I've been like, oh my God, I ate pasta, right? We hear that often. Or I had bread. Oh, shoot me, right? And it's not bad choices.
They can't see your arms. Mom.
Yeah, it's not bad choices. So, but my mindset told me it was because, you know, I heard that it was. And so I'll beat myself down, right? Instead of building myself up. So it's more about that. Just being aware. If you do have a bad day, forgive yourself and try harder at the next meal, right? And it's not about perfection. Because again, perfection is when we want to look good for everybody else, and excellence is when we want to be better for ourselves. We don't care what anybody else thinks, right? So to be better for yourself, just overall health is more than just, and you girls know this, is more than just your body or shell, okay, Loic? It's also the healthy mindset and a healthy heart. And this little guy. Okay, le pack ton sac, on s'en va. Merci. So I would say you honored your body. Good for you because you like 12 hours of CrossFit. Come on. I'm not worthy. Like that's amazing. Another thing, girls, is sometimes we like to have wine. That's cool. Moderation as well, right? So you can have a glass or two. I wouldn't say every day. Some studies say it's okay. But I do have to tell you that they have linked breast cancer to alcohol consumption. So you know, just being aware, like, I'm not trying to scare you because, you know, we hear all the studies and we'll just stop living. That's not at all what I want. But just be aware, right? And if we drink wine, then, I mean, we more want to have more cheese and chocolate or grapes and things like that, and we can overeat. So it's so easy to overdo things like that. Will it affect your overall goal? It won't if you practice moderation. But it will if you overdo it, right? So moderation in moderation. So it's all about self-trust. The SAMI, girls, write that down, SAMI. Self-trust, the abundance mindset. I mean, Halloween is coming. Candy is already in the stores, girls. There's been candy in the stores the last 12 months. Like, there's no shortage of candy. Just because now it's packaged all cute doesn't mean it's any more special, right? So abundance mindset, moderation and then / mindfulness, right? So practice moderation, but you're also practicing that self-awareness, mindfulness. And then I for intentions. Like, what are your daily intentions? How do you show up in your world on a day-to-day basis? So it has to do with more than just eating and working out. What are you doing to feed your mind? What are you doing to feed your soul? What are you doing to feed your heart? So if we're always beating ourselves down and never picking ourselves up, it's like counterintuitive. It's like I'm shaking your hand, but I'm slapping your face at the same time. It's not really cool. So SAMI, write that down. And yeah, I was gonna say one last thing. and now I can't remember. I think I covered pretty much everything. If you girls want to do another Q&A though, like I love this stuff. If you guys give me your questions, you can email them to me or just put them on the page, and like I can get answers and I'll answer anything. So anything. And we can go from back and forth like that, just because I want to share, you know, all the knowledge that I have, because knowledge is power and it's awesome to have. And you girls are freaking smart. Like I said, we all know what we need to do. So let's not complicate things. Let's not complicate things with eat at this time, eat this much this, eat this much that. Just be aware of what you're eating. For fun, track what you eat in a day, because a lot of times we're putting things in our mouth without even realizing it. We're drinking a lot of things without even realizing it. I used to be a triple Tim Hortons steep tea drinker. I stopped that, right? I stopped that 3 years ago. I had massive withdrawals, but the sugar in there was insane, right? So as I said, like sugar, we know it's not good for us. So, and over consumption, like over excessive sugar is not good for us. I'm not talking about sugars from fruits and things like that. I'm talking about, you know, man-made stuff. So yeah, it's just about practicing and a lot of self-trust and a lot of patience, right? And you know what, girls? You're going to have crap days. I'm not going to lie. You're going to have crap days. And if you decide to only show up for yourself on days it's good, nothing will get done. So for a fact, like, and I'm so thankful that you guys were there for me the last 2 weeks. It's been quite hard. It's a whole new adjustment. But I didn't feel like doing stuff, and I still forced myself to just go through the motions. So if you only show up for yourself when it's going good and you bail when it's crap, then you're never going to see any progress in anything in your life. I'm not just talking about overall physique there. I'm talking about mindset. Like, you have to be willing to push through, especially when it hurts. Just show up, go through the motions. Motivation is finite. It's not something that's, you know, we all start something and we're like, yee-haw, and then it quickly dwindles, and then we feel guilty and we feel like we're the problem. But I'm telling you right now, it happens to everybody. I still get days like that. And that's okay. That's where you got to honor it. Say, am I going to push myself anyways? Or am I going to back it off a bit? Or am I going to go talk to somebody? Or maybe I need to treat myself to something, right? And treating ourselves doesn't always mean food. I used to treat myself. I used to be a big treater of food. It could be like a nice bubble bath, or go buy a nice book, or go hang out with a girlfriend, right? So there's different ways. Celebrate those mini wins. That's what I'll finish with. Celebrate the mini wins. So you girls are fabulous. I got to get to the school. I have a meeting. Fashionably late all the time, right, Loic? That's our MO. Get that water in. Manage the stress.
I became taller.
Get your sleep in.
I became taller.
Yeah. So we're going to say, feed your body, feed your mind.
I'm taller than my
Feed
mom.
that glow, eh? Say, feed that glow, yo.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, girls.
My mom knows how to make me fly with the feet.
Oh, yes. Okay, I love you, girls. Thanks. Have a good one. And we'll do another Q&A, so just post questions and we'll get it done.
Mom, there was a whole bunch of things going
I know.
down.
I love when they send hearts.
I love when
Say,
they
ask
said
for
like,
some hearts. Ask for some more hearts. Say, send Lo the hearts.
heart.
Loic wants some hearts, guys. Oh, there you go.
And
They're giving you hearts.
thumbs
Thank you,
up.
guys.
Thumbs
Thumbs up. Okay, let's do the heart for them. So we're going to be peace,
Heart
peace, love,
and thumbs up.
and thumbs up. Okay, ciao,
What
guys.
thumbs up?
Thumbs up. There you go.
And some.
There we go. Okay, bye.
Bye.